Toy Story 4, where what if all you want in life is for somebody to take you home and play with you? Only they aren't interested. Yup. Sounds exactly like my love life. So, if you couldn't already tell from the title of this video, this is my spoiler review of Toy Story 4. So if you haven't seen Toy Story 4 and you don't want to know exactly what happens from the movie, then click off this video, don't watch this video, but you can check out my non-spoiler review by clicking the link here. So, you've been warned. For this review, I'm not going to do a play-by-play of the movie. I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I wanted to talk about in depth for my non-spoiler review that I couldn't because of spoilers, and just basically the things that stood out to me. Like, I don't know if it was a coincidence or not, but this movie had a lot of parallels to Avengers Endgame, whether it's at the very end where Woody is saying goodbye to the rest of Andy's toys, and they do like this montage of all the toys, and it reminded me of the Tony Stark funeral scene of Avengers Endgame where they showed all the Avengers until they eventually got to Nick Fury. It was basically the same thing. Like, they showed all the toys until they got the Buzz. And I was just like, Avengers? Even the themes of what happened to Woody, I felt like it was a very Captain America-esque story, where for the most part, Woody has always been selfless. It's always been about the love and nurturing and caring of his owner, whether it was Andy or even in this one, it's Bonnie. But then finally, by the end of it, he decided to go, well, what about me? What about my life? What about my happiness? What do I want? And so, again, it was very Avengers Endgame in terms of those themes. And I couldn't help to say to myself, like, I see what you're doing, Pixar. Now, this movie dealt with a lot of themes of rejection. And what do you do with that? Even from the opening scene where you finally got to see what happened with Bo Peep. But yeah, so the beginning of this movie, you finally got to see what happened to her. And you saw that she used to be a part of a nightlight, and Andy's sister basically decided she didn't really need that nightlight anymore. Again, rejection. Then you get to see Woody, who was for the most part the toy throughout these three movies. He's being rejected by Bonnie, which, I mean, you get, and you hear from the other toys that this is the third or fourth time that Woody's being rejected, to the point he's starting to get dust all over him. And it's a feeling Woody's never really had to deal with before, because sure, you had a brief moment in the first Toy Story film where Andy was all about Buzz, but at the end of the day, Woody was always Andy's favorite toy. You got Gabby, who was pretty much rejected from the beginning because the moment she came out of the box, she was defective. Her voice box didn't work. And so she has this feeling that I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to, where it's just like, if you can just change this one aspect about yourself, the person that you've been eyeing for the longest time will actually finally acknowledge you. And of course, that person she was looking at was Harmony. Only to find out, even when she changed that aspect about herself, Harmony still didn't want her. Now granted, when that moment happened, I knew it was gonna happen, but even when it happened, I was still like, damn, that sucks. Like I said, this movie was my love life in a nutshell. Excuse me while I go cry. And the thing that I really appreciated about this movie, like, even though Gabby was set up to be a pretty dark villain, to the point that in the toy world, she was trying to steal Woody's organs, more or less. Like, this movie went into themes of organ harvesting, which is kind of dark for a kid's movie. But ultimately, you understand why she's doing it. And really, this movie does a good job where it has you rooting for her by the end. Anyway, let me jump back to the beginning. After they show what happened to Bo Peep, Bonnie is about to experience her first day of kindergarten. And she's super nervous, and she's scared. She's going to enter into an environment that she's never really been in before, surrounded by all these kids she doesn't know. And while in kindergarten, thanks to the intervention and help with Woody, she ends up creating and giving life basically to a new toy that she names Forky. And while in the theater, it made me wonder, like, I wonder how this world works now, because you essentially told me through the love and imagination of someone we've seen as this movie played on that no, these toys are actually alive. It's not someone's imagination. No, they are living creatures. But then also you see toys that have never been owned by anyone. They never got the love or imagination of a child, but yet they were still alive. So then again, it makes me wonder, like, how does this world work? Why is it that some toys are alive and some toys aren't? And I'm just like, I mean, there are plenty of people that really love their sex toys. So in this world, are there sentient dildos and vibrators walking around? Because if all you need is love, well, I mean, after all, they are toys. And granted, all of these toys have their own personalities, but some of these toys are kind of fucked up. Like, what's up with that unicorn that is constantly trying and plotting to get Bonnie's father sent to jail? Like, what is... What is going on with that? And then what's up with these movies taking unicorns, which are supposed to be these pure magical creatures, and basically diminishing their image? Like, you think about what Deadpool did with his unicorn. And then, of course, this movie. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, considering how this movie ended, like, I'm gonna say the same thing that I said with Toy Story 3. I don't think we need a Toy Story 5, but I do think there are talks to make a Toy Story 5. And so with that, I'm very curious of where the story is gonna go from here. Like, I saw a theory that said, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad theory. I actually like this theory, but then also at the same time, I kind of feel like it'll negate the message that came with this movie, where I saw that the theory was, well, Woody is now out and about and he's a lost toy. Maybe being out in the carnival world for a couple of years, maybe he ends up getting found by Andy's son, and it brings it back to the full circle of life, and now he's owned by Andy's son. And so ultimately, it wraps up with him still ending up with Andy in the end. And I saw somebody say, that kind of negates the purpose of this movie, where it's not always about the one kid, it's about yourself. And I get that argument, but I also kind of like the full circle of life ending. So I don't know, I'm just curious of where they would go in Toy Story 5. But considering what they did with this movie, even though I said I don't think this movie was necessary, I still enjoyed what they did with this. So I'm pretty sure more than likely I'm gonna enjoy what they do with part 5. For the most part, Pixar has not let me down. And again, it's very much like the MCU in that way. But yeah, so Toy Story 4, were you disappointed? Where do you think they should go if they do a Toy Story 5? Do you like that ending of him ending up with Andy's son in the end? What were some of your favorite moments from this movie? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. It'll really help out the channel. And if this is your first time looking at my channel, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. Also, check out the links in the description box below. I'll leave my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time. Happy Pride Month!